It's on you, darling.
Hey, welcome to Spomedians. We're the channel where sports meets comedy. Live from New York, it's comedian Fig. Hi,
I'm in the building.
And live from LA, it's Marc Howard. Live from Washington State, it's Cortney Gee, and I'm your host, Darryl and Wright, broadcasting live from Cincinnati. How are you doing, Fig?
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Ready for the Jazz Festival? It's coming up soon.
Y'all got Jazz Festival in Cincinnati?
You guys need to come this way. We got Mary J. Blige. We've got Frankie Beverly and Maze coming. The Ohio Players. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. Yeah.
That sounds good. When is that, Darryl?
Well, it's July 25th through the 28th. Here in Cincinnati, it's huge. You gotta come.
I might catch a cheap flight.
Yeah, come on. Bring your wife. Is that Marc Howard? Hey, Marc, how you doing?
What up? In the flesh. Sorry I'm late. Just had to take care of a couple of...
Had to polish your head.
Yeah.
No worries there. You know, we're just glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. How's LA? Good?
LA is good. You know, it's always good because I'm here.
Very good. All right. So the opening question, guys. LeVar Ball, you know, one of our favorites. I mean, I love what comes out of his mouth. But anyway, he's the father of Lonzo Ball, and now he's banned from ESPN, you know, for what he said to Molly Qerim. You guys feel it was right, wrong? Are they making too much out of this? What do you think, Marc?
You know, first off, I'm going to say this much. I don't look like LeVar Ball, all right? He ain't this pretty, first off. Secondly, I've not been a fan of them displaying him on the various shows to hear his mouth talking because he doesn't present anything other than a person that's just bragging for his kids. Now I understand I'm a father. My son's actually Lonzo's contemporary. They played high school in the same area, but in the same tournaments and things like that.
Right.
So I've been around and watched them play, but you know, they built this monster, and then they want to turn on him. And I felt what they're coming up with now is BS. You know, he said, yeah, you could switch gears with me. And that in itself is not anything flirtatious or inappropriate. He didn't come with any kind of tone. It's like, you know, now they're trying to tease it with the old Boys in the Hood thing with Cuba Gooding when he said to the girl, well, can you drive stick? You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. I mean, LeVar ain't.
All right.
So, okay,
right, what do you
trying to
think?
get with her on national TV. Come on, man. That's stupid.
All right. What do you think, Fig? Let's turn it over to Fig.
First off, I think that Marc is jealous because Lonzo made it to the NBA and his son is not in the NBA yet. So that's what I think first. That's why he don't like LeVar Ball. And second of all, I don't know if what LeVar said was all of that. Look, I don't know. It didn't sound like he was that bad to me. But here's what I do believe. As a black man, I am so sensitive to people telling you how to feel when somebody offends you. So I know what LeVar said he may not have intended for it to be offensive, but you do not get to tell Molly how to feel about what it is that he said. So I have to be sensitive to that, because when I tell somebody, oh man, that's racist, or that's a horrible thing that you said, they don't get to tell me, nah, man, I didn't mean it. You don't get to say that. Look, I understand if Molly was offended, she was offended. I think banning the man is a little too far, though. Banning him come on. Can he just say, what happened to just apologizing?
Well,
no, he wasn't going to apologize, Fig, and I wouldn't apologize. I mean, I get it. If you said something racist that's cut and dry, he made a statement responding to her. She asked, can I switch gears? He said, you can switch anytime you want. He said it with a regular, straight voice, even responded when she paused, like, come on, I'm just asking you, what do you want to switch to? He didn't come with you can switch gears with me anytime you want, Molly. It wasn't like that at all.
Yeah, and he didn't say, Marc, you can switch my gear anytime.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't in that tone. It's just a plain statement responded behind.
Right. Let's keep it moving for our feature. All right, guys, the NBA draft. All right, we know that it was last Thursday. No surprise. First round, first pick, Zion Williamson went to the Pelicans. Even the second, John Morant went to Memphis. That was projected, right? Marc and Fig, your teams, they were in the lottery as well. Fig, your Knicks were 3rd overall pick. It was no surprise. They chose R.J. Barrett, right? Zion, Duke teammate, right? Mark, your Washington Wizards, they drafted 9th, and they had a mystery. They chose Gonzaga as Rui Hachimura, first Japanese-born player to get drafted in the first round. How do you guys feel about those picks?
Who you going with? Who you want to answer first?
Let's go with you, Fig.
Well, listen. I understand the Wizards picking Hachimura. Hopefully, he can bring a whole lot of sake to the arena, because the way the Wizards play, they're going to need to be drunk to be entertained. I actually have these bricks behind me in honor of bricklaying John Wall. But I am actually very happy about the Knicks' 3rd pick in RJ Barrett. We have a young core of rookies and second-year players, and I think RJ Barrett is going to be a nice addition to the New York Knicks. We're building from the bottom up. We're building from the draft, and I'm not mad at that. If we get a couple of free agents, that's fine. If not, I'm happy with what we have. But I'd rather have young players that are growing and maturing and getting better than a bunch of players that are on the team that are veterans and haven't won anything.
Mark,
I mean, I think it's funny because he said you got to build from the bottom up. Well, his team has been at the bottom, so they have no place to build but from the bottom up.
Well, that's what happens to teams that are in the lottery, where the Wizards were.
Well, look. First off, my Wizards team was in the lottery. We haven't had a first-round pick in over 5 years because we've been that good. So him talking and trying to call somebody bricks, what sounds like bricks? The New York Knicks, and that's what they shoot.
Wall.
So
this is
she asked you about your team, and stick with your team because you don't know about mine. Your team can't beat mine. When you can at least get to that level, then we can talk. But and I appreciate you making me laugh, because I'm really crying inside. That's not who I wanted the Wizards to get. Hachimura, I've seen. Hopefully, I'm gonna have to hope that I'm wrong, because I wasn't pleased with that. I did think that Cam Reddish, thinking of Duke, R.J. Barrett, and Zion Williams, his teammate. I think that he did, although he didn't shine at Duke. He was the number 3 player in the country behind R.J. Barrett, who was number 1 at the time, and Zion, who was number 2, come out of high school. But I thought the pro game in the NBA, he'll open up and be a better player, and I was liking to get that. 6'8", he'd feel the need of a 3 once we get Wall back and have him build. Hachimura is limited, and you know what? I just don't know how tough he is and whether his toughness will be for the NBA. But I'm still rolling with my team, so we'll see what we get. But I'm not happy with that.
Don't worry, if you ain't tough, you just have
head on to the news. Let's head on to the news in Chicago.
Yeah.
Cameras were gone. All right, manager Mickey Callaway, out of uniform in street clothes. You gotta love that baseball. He exited his office and he started walking towards the other side of the visiting clubhouse at Wrigley Field. All right, so he says, this reporter named Tim Healy, he says, "See you tomorrow, Mickey." And Callaway stopped. He said, "Don't be a smart blank." All right. He said, as Callaway walked away, it sounded like it was going to be a mother F. After that, he was pretty mad. The reporter looked really confused, like he didn't think he had done anything wrong. All right. So everybody thought it was the end of it, but it wasn't. All right. It wasn't. So he returns. Healy's standing in the same spot. Callaway brings it up again. He tells Healy that he should understand, the Mets they weren't in a good mood, for that loss. And the reporter, he was antagonizing people. That's what some people said. So Jason Vargas, he looks at the guy and he says, "Don't you gesture at me." And then he says, "I'll knock the blank out of you." All right, so he charges Healy. They had to pull him off. Carlos Gomez, Noah Syndergaard, they had to pull him off the guy. What do you think about that?
Wow.
Who you going to? Hey, Darryl, first let me say something. Listen, I hear there's no sound, so we need to fix this. I just want to make sure that people can hear us.
Okay.
Somebody read. I got something said there's no sound. I just want to make sure people can hear us.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and fix that. Let's keep working on that. But what do you think about that?
I think that was the most excitement that the Mets have had all year. So hopefully they can take some of that energy and put it onto the field and win some games.
Yeah.
You know, that would be helpful for the Mets anyway. But if you're a Yankees fan, well, now, you know. But listen, the Mets got to get together. You know, listen, losing is not easy. And if you're losing, everything that somebody says to you is sensitive. It's like Marc not having any hair. You understand? Him looking at me and you on camera, Darryl, and with a head full of hair, I know he's just jealous. You know what I mean? He's so upset. It's just difficult. It's like pouring salt in a wound. You can tell by the look on his face. He's a little salty.
Very good. CL Matthew says we can't hear. Valerie says we can hear you. Thank you, Valerie, for that. We can hear. Good. Okay. Thank you, CL. All right. So let me get to the next story quickly before we run out of time. Marc, I'm going to come back to you. And Marc, I think you're going to chime in on me on this one. All right. So Golden State Warriors, Andre Iguodala. All right. So but he says Kevin Durant is not going to the Knicks.
I know.
He's not going to the Knicks. Okay, but Fig, I mean, what could he do? He could either he could go back to Golden State. They say he could get 5 years. He could get $221 million, or he could go with the Knicks and get a 4-year contract. What do you want him to do? Let's go to Marc because Marc didn't get to talk. Marc?
First off, I've already said he wasn't going to the Knicks. I'm just going to say this for the last time. This fool over here back here keep talking about his team like they are somebody, man. They're nobody. They're in a building that people keep talking about as the mecca of basketball, and they stink. All they do is talk about how visitors come in and score 55 points against the team. Nobody wants to play for the Knicks. The Knicks suck. Their owner sucks. He puts out Charles Oakley because the man told him what everybody else wants to say. He should kick out the whole damn fans of people in there because they all want him to sell a team. How everybody in the world wants the person to sell a team because he don't know what he's doing. Nobody wants to play for the Knicks. You don't even want to play for the Knicks. RJ Barrett told me he wants to play for the Knicks, and then soon, guess what? Once he get there next week, he ain't gonna want to play for the Knicks.
Marc, you know, I'm right there with you, man. But listen, we've got a guest. We've got a guest coming up.
Yes.
Def Jam Comicview legend Cortney Gee. Cortney, hey man, how's it going?
What's happening? How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Doing great. Look like you're trying to fix your headphones.
Yeah, I am. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Is that a Cleveland Browns jersey you got on?
Yeah, don't talk.
Did you lose a bet?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to curse.
Yeah.
Don't talk more about my Brownies because the Giants and the Jets will be going nowhere.
Exactly.
Courtney, who are your 3 favorite teams?
My 3 favorite teams are the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if Cleveland had a ping pong team, I'd root for them.
You know what, Courtney? I got to respect you because you're from Cleveland, you're in Cleveland, and you're representing your team because they're from Cleveland. That's nothing but respect for you. Unlike my co-host, Marc,
I know
who is from DC and is a Dallas Cowboy lover.
Yes,
he is a Dallas Cowboy lover. He's a traitor and a bandwagon fan, and we can't trust anything that comes out of his bandwagon mouth.
Very good, Fig. Now let Courtney speak.
Cowboy fan.
Courtney?
I've known him for almost 30 years, and I think in those 30 years they haven't won. But I mean, he still roots for him, and I appreciate any fan that is die hard. Now, Marc is die hard for Dallas, and I think he's die hard for the Wizards, which is surprising. I would have thought that he would have been like an Oklahoma City fan or something. Something far away from home.
I did go to school in Oklahoma, so I got a little love for Oklahoma.
You know what? I can appreciate that. I play for Grambling, but I don't like the Pelicans.
Okay,
all right. Hey, Courtney, let me ask you something. Yeah. I hear you've written a book.
Yes, my novel is entitled One Hustle. You can find it on Amazon, iTunes, Kindle, and Barnes and Noble, and any other bookstore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Courtney, I finally read it.
Are you kidding me? So are we still friends? No, are we still friends?
Oh no, Fig, Darryl, and you don't realize that the book is loosely based, and one of the main characters is based on me.
Oh, my. I've
Is
got
that
to
right?
Yeah,
Mark is in literary.
Courtney, why would you write a book about a loser?
Oh,
Fig. I didn't say it was about you. I said it was about me. I have a
That's
very
what I'm
interesting
talking
life.
about.
Yeah, no, one of the characters, Mark and I have spent many years traveling all over the world.
I'm sorry to hear that, Courtney.
Oh no, Mark is an excellent travel companion. I mean,
Let him speak, light skin.
he knows how to play wingman nice. I mean, sometimes I had to play the wing, but I mean, one of the most adventurous things we ever did. Mark didn't think I still had a little game left in me, and we went over to Hawaii and ran the court for about. We ran the court for like 5-6 games, and I ain't gonna lie, I pulled one out of the rafters for that when we played. Mark was like,
Hey, Fig, Darryl, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. We got it to we were on the army base in Okinawa, and the dude was talking trash to Courtney. Courtney went up and dunked on this kid, Fig. He dunked on him and said, "I told you if you come with me, I'm gonna take you for a ride."
it's gonna be like this all day, baby, all day.
so
Courtney,
Courtney,
I didn't know you could dunk.
Oh man, Courtney was a D1 ball player, man. You're the only non-athlete in this
Is
room.
that right? Oh, Mark, please do not claim to be an athlete. Don't claim that, Mark.
Courtney, let me ask
Come
you.
on, don't claim athleticism.
Go ahead, Darryl.
Let me ask you. How did you start your comedic career? How did it start with you?
John Hinton from Living Single was in town, and we went to go see him, and I got drunk, and I was just shooting the stuff with him after the show, and after we all settled up and decided we were leaving, he said, "So when are you gonna be performing?" And I was like, "Perform? Like I work at AT&T, blood." And he was like, "You're a comedian." And he talked to a girl named Pam at the Comedy Act Theater, and she let me go up on amateur night. And the worst thing happened. I had a really good first set, and that's the worst thing because I bombed for about 6-7 months in a row every Tuesday night. I mean, but you got to understand the kind of people I was in amateur group with. Monique, Earthquake, Gandhi, Zoo Man, Jamel, Bruce, Tim Murray, Sherman Golden, Chris Tucker. First time he touched the stage, you got a standing ovation.
Some of the greats.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the only one that didn't become a millionaire. I've been 1,000 there, deep in the thousands. Didn't make the $1 million chip. And you know, somebody asked me, Darryl Littleton, aka D Middleton, asked me, "Courtney, are you satisfied?" Because for the last 3 years I've been kind of down with kidney failure, complete kidney failure. I'm on dialysis, and I haven't really been able to touch the stage. So now I can look back in retrospect and say, well, what did I do wrong? And, I mean, everybody knows what my problem was. It wasn't drugs. I chased girls. I didn't care about money at first, and everybody else did, and that's why they pushed forward. Whereas, I pushed forward based on talent. I was right now like Zion is. Zion has all the potential in the world.
Yeah. But
if he doesn't push, he'll just be another Bill Willoughby, and you have to do.
Bill Willoughby! Fig has no idea you just mentioned. Hey, Courtney, real quick, a note I'm seeing from the producer you don't see, and this is something you don't normally get to hear, is they want to see your face. So move the microphone. Move the microphone a little bit.
You know what? I'm trying. I'm working on my own studio in my studio office, and the way it's set up, everything runs through my mixer. So my iMac is not super close, but the camera loads up.
You look good, Courtney.
Yeah, you do, man.
You look good, baby. Listen, some of the stuff that you said was amazing.
Hey, listen,
that you went out, had a good set, and bombed for 7 months in a row. And I know Mark can relate with that because He's still bombing today.
Yeah, okay.
Courtney, what do you have coming up? What do you have coming up?
Right now, like I said, I'm working on 2 podcasts at one time. The Gee That's Funny comedy show and podcast. And that's with a young man named Deanna Hall out of Warren, Ohio. He's a subplant here in Seattle. So we'll be doing that on Thursdays at 4:30. And also I'm doing a show with my wife whenever she decides that she wants to sit in the chair and put the headphones on. It's called Just the Two of Us, and we'll be talking about love, relationships, marriage.
Just the two of us.
Yeah. And you know, the problem is you can't use copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have to make your own music, Cortney Gee.
Yeah, so you know.
Yeah.
I have the capabilities. I just don't have the skill to make my own music. I got a couple people doing some.
Yeah. Well, we'll get with you on that. I got a girl that does some beats. Hey, listen, we gotta keep it moving. All right, it's good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, before I leave,
Hurry up.
I just want to say how much I apologize for last week's show.
Oh man,
because
it's all good.
It wasn't that I went to the wrong room like Mark posted all over Facebook. I was on an iPhone because I was coming from dialysis. I actually took off dialysis today and rescheduled because I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk to y'all. And Darryl, no disrespect, I've left my player card alone, but you're a beautiful lady. I just thought you were a beautiful speaker. You know how some people sound gorgeous on the phone, and then you be like, I wonder what she gonna look like.
That is so nice, Cortney Gee, man. Don't you pull on ball on Darryl Land tonight.
We'll see you soon, Courtney. Okay, we gotta keep it moving.
Before I go, one thing I need to show y'all.
Oh, we love it.
What you got there, Cortney Gee?
That's something that Knicks ain't got yet. There you go.
What's that? Championship ring?
Yeah, that's a championship ring. Something your bricks ain't gonna see.
The Knicks got a couple. We got a couple. They
you ain't got no.
You got to dust them off from 72 to 73.
You ain't got no.
Because we live in this world, gentlemen.
All right, Courtney.
All right.
Thank you,
Cortney Gee.
Yes, we love Courtney because we live in this world. All right, I wanted to do something else, but I'm gonna, be nice to you guys and switch it up. I wanted to talk about Kim K's makeup, but you guys don't want to. So hey, let's talk about Cardi B. She's been indicted on some charges. She's got about, I think, 11 or 12 felony indictments heading her way. Do you have any recommendations about what she could and should do? Mark, what do you think?
I don't dance now. I make criminal moves, huh? If you see me gone, I am true. You know what? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? We're tired of rappers nowadays. All of them supposed to be criminals. At this point in time, Cardi B's age, this ain't no real hardcore cats that grew up like with me and Fig, where guys actually grew up in the projects. All these kids are descendants of project kids. They middle class. Now you ain't really living where you was forced to live. Now you just trying to perpetrate a fraud. And now you doing all this stuff out here. You done put stuff in people's drinks and robbing them and stuff like that, man. So hey, go to jail, get a real career.
All right. What do you think, Fig?
Listen, I feel sorry for Cardi B, but she told on herself. It's not like somebody snitched. She sort of snitched on herself. She went on a rant on Instagram and told everybody what she did. She was offended that when she was a stripper, that guys wanted to sleep with her. I'm like, Cardi B, you're a good-looking woman. You're half naked. You're selling sex. Of course somebody want to sleep with you. Then she took him back to the room, drugged him, robbed him, all kind of stuff. She admitted it. She confessed. Now they push charges against her. I'm like, come on. I mean, Fig, maybe she should run for president.
Well,
that's why you know she ain't no real criminal, because criminals back in our day didn't say nothing about what we did. We don't talk about that stuff. We don't get proud to go to jail. We just dealt with it. Now you over there talking about what you did on social media, and you gonna say, okay, who snitched on me? You, dumbass.
You snitched on you.
Oh, well, I gotta say I love her. I love Cardi B. All right, let's keep it moving. Headlines. Gentlemen, with now being the end of the NBA season, it's full-fledged baseball season, then NFL training camp comes in just a month or so. What are you guys looking forward to out of the remainder of the baseball season? What do you see looking into the start of training camp? Mark, what do you think?
Well, you ain't gonna like it as well. Now that I have my Nationals, which is new, they transferred from, they left Montreal. I am a Nationals fan, and they're starting to ascend. I think they're starting to get it together because they were talking about fire, having a fire sale and starting all over. But right now they've been upwardly trending. They're definitely better than the Mets. But I grew up as a kid because we didn't have a team for so long. I grew up as a Yankees fan, and I like what we're doing. I'm actually gonna say, I'm looking forward to a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, and that's what I grew up on as a little kid, watching Reggie Jackson and Steve Garvey with the Yankees. With the Dodgers. So I'm looking.
With that, we're frozen.
All
right, go ahead. We'll hold that thought, Mark. Go ahead, Fig. What are you looking forward to?
Listen, Darryl, I'm looking at baseball season. The Yankees got the hitting going just the way that we want it. Now, if we could just marry that pitching to go along with that, them sluggers, because the Bronx Bombers have been doing their thing lately. So if we could just get a little pitching to go along with that, them Yankee Bombers knocking home runs out the park, I think the Yankees gonna be able to do their thing. But you know what? I want to get back to our last segment when we was talking to Cortney Gee. I'm a Giants fan, but I'm a little excited about seeing Cleveland play because they got a couple of stars on their team or potential stars. I want to see what Baker Mayfield does in Cleveland with those receivers that he has. They seem like they're gonna be an exciting team this year, and they're gonna get a lot of television coverage. I'm not saying they're gonna win the championship or the title or ring, anything like that, but I think they're gonna be a very entertaining team, and I'm interested to see. Yes, Cortney. I want to see what
you want to stop with that trying to hedge your bet with the Browns, man. I don't care about no Browns. I don't care about the Reds. I don't care about nobody. I'm my team. I want my team to win. I ain't interested in seeing nobody. Now I know you want to cover yourself because you ain't got nothing to look forward to with them Giants.
The girls? You talking about the girls?
Hey, the girls are better than the Giants.
The girls haven't won a championship since 1996.
We are completely out of time.
Oh, no.
Yes, we're out of time. That's all the time we have. Join us next week. We're here on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Spomedians. We're the Spomedians, where sports meets comedy.
Man.
That be true because the Dallas Cowboys are a funny team.